All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead and sort of Black Summer video for today. In this one, we're going to be comparing and giving our thoughts on The Walking Dead versus Black Summer. All right, so you guys knew it was coming. You knew that we were going to compare. We can't help it. Obviously, we're going to make comparisons and we're going to give our thoughts on the new Netflix series Black Summer, which is the first North American zombie apocalypse series they've had of their own, with its first season that has been released on Netflix. You can watch all the first 8 episodes now if you want to via Netflix. So, you know, the comparisons were coming. It was going to come. We were going to have to compare and give our thoughts on this one versus the other, and we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So, you know, for fans of either series, it's no problem. You know, this is just personally my opinion. You guys can certainly leave yours in the comments below on how you feel about the comparison between these two different types of shows. Considering this is I want to say like the next big player in the zombie apocalypse game right now. We'll see if it gets a second season or if it ends after the first season. I would not be surprised if Netflix did not renew Black Summer for another season. It's supposed to be kind of set in the same sort of world as Z Nation, but the thing about it is it's so vastly different from Z Nation, and it's so much more serious than Z Nation that I can't really consider it to be, even though they say it's kind of the same universe, I can't really consider it 100% to be the same universe. And I haven't seen the first season all the way through. I've seen just over half at this point, so I've seen the first 4 episodes of the show. But I have the gist of it. I get the gist of the idea, and we'll have to see what the future of Black Summer is, if it has a future at all. We'll have to see how it performs on Netflix, whether or not they want to go forward with more episodes. And 8 episodes is pretty good to at least get started with the show and get a good idea of what it's about. So, of course, The Walking Dead needs no introduction, but I did get a new poster if you guys want to see it. It's kind of cool, right? So I like that one. So I got to update it. Got to update the backgrounds here and there. Obviously, you guys know, huge Walking Dead fan here, and spoiler warning, I like The Walking Dead better. Right? So, but why? Why is it that I find The Walking Dead to be so much superior to a series like Black Summer? Well, okay, and it's not a knock against Black Summer. It's not anything against it in terms of, I'm not saying the series is crap. I'm not saying the series doesn't have, some good things about it. It does have some really cool stuff about it that I said in my review for the premiere episode. Some of the scenes are very intense, right? You have the Drive episode, for example, which is the second episode, which is really cool. You have like a zombie that kind of gets on top. You have them being chased in a minivan by a truck, which is so it's kind of cool. So this was pretty intense, and then the school episode as well too, which feels a lot like maybe an old school kind of horror movie. But one of the things about the episodes too, and I've seen a lot of people mention this, is that we never see a whole bunch of zombies together. Hardly ever see it. Most of the time, it's like one zombie here or one zombie there, and of course, they're the rage kind of zombies, something we saw like in 28 Days Later, or the fast zombies of Dawn of the Dead, the remake, and those types of movies, the crazies kind of idea, where they're like, they spaz out, they go crazy, they puke maybe a little bit, then they race after people, they charge after people, and they try to get them, right? They try to bite them and everything else. So, and they turn very quickly, like it's pretty much as soon as they get bitten, within like sometimes a minute or 2 minutes, they get up and they start running around raging. So it is exciting. It is scary to see in the similar vein to, like I mentioned, some of those movies, 28 Days Later and that. To see those kind of zombies. They are very scary and they're very intimidating to have to face off against. Because, even if you face off against one, it's like, good luck. And that's probably why in a lot of the episodes here in the first season, you see them face off against like one at a time or like a couple of zombies, when realistically, there should be these freaking rage zombies all over the place running crazy. I mean, they should be everywhere. And, it should be very difficult to survive. And sometimes it does feel that way in Black Summer, that it is very, very difficult to survive. Sometimes they will keep shooting the zombies in the body, which just makes you want to pull your hair out and scream, right? Because we know at this point, it's got to be the head, man. Come on, it's the Shane scene, right, from season 2. Why still coming? Got to shoot him in the head. So, all these things that we've established that we know, of course, at the beginning of Zombie Apocalypse, Black Summer, the survivors, they don't know that. But okay, fine, fast zombies, whatever, it's cool, it's got its own thing, and it is exciting. I'll give it that. But man, in terms of the differences between the series, the fact that they both have zombies is about, I want to say, like the only similarity. It actually, to be honest, Black Summer feels more like Fear the Walking Dead, to be honest with you. Especially, they even have like a stadium at the end here. The last episode is called The Stadium. So, and you've got the military involved and everything like that. So there's a lot of similarities. It's probably closer to Fear the Walking Dead than it is the original Walking Dead series. For me personally, the big difference between these two, the characters in Black Summer so far, and again, I've just seen through the first 4 episodes, but they're okay. Like I think Rose, for example, is probably the standout character so far from what I've seen. You have some of the others here, but it's it's not the same, right? Spears, for example, he's another lead character, and Lance and some of the others, but the pacing is fast, right? So the pacing of Black Summer is really fast, and you go from one thing to another, and it feels pretty honest to a world in chaos. You get the swearing and all the other stuff, which is cool. So it feels legitimate in that way. I'm sure the budget is not, their budget that they're using for Black Summer is probably pretty light. It's probably not anything that crazy or anywhere near what they get for something like The Walking Dead or a big show like that, or even maybe Fear the Walking Dead, maybe not at that level. But the original story of The Walking Dead, and the way that the focus was really not on the zombies, and even in Fear as well too, it's really more about the characters and the family, and the zombies are more of like a world condition or a set piece of the environment that your survivors have to be in. Whereas in something like Black Summer, it feels like more of the emphasis is kind of on the zombies or on the environment and on the world than it is on the characters. So you really, at least for me anyway so far, you really don't get driven home that sense of like the characters are at the forefront. Whereas in The Walking Dead, that always felt like that was kind of what it was, is that it was always the character-driven type of story, sort of the in the comics that We Are the Walking Dead. They kind of, Rick says it in the TV series too, not the walkers, but the people. And I think that's the main thing, right? Is that when you watch Black Summer through, at least that's what I've seen most common right now in comments, is that the characters just are not connecting with the audience that well in the first season or close to the beginning there, like they did in The Walking Dead. In the original Walking Dead series, I feel like Rick, Carl, Shane, Laurie, they connected. In the first season, they connected almost right away. In a human kind of way and a human kind of level, and that just went on further in season 2 and afterwards. So of course, it's kind of tricky to compare because Black Summer is so new. And we'll have to see if that much, if much comes from it after that, or if it's basically, if that's kind of it. But so far, I don't hate the series or anything like that. But certainly for me, I think it's just kind of their attempt at making a zombie apocalypse type of series with not much in the way of a budget, or an okay budget, but definitely not a great budget from the looks of things. And personally for me, there's really no comparison. For me, it's all Walking Dead for sure. And we'll see if there's ever any other zombie apocalypse series that could even really rival The Walking Dead. Z Nation, a lot of people like Z Nation. I did a video comparing that to The Walking Dead, and it has a lot of fans, right? So I'm really surprised with kind of the way things have gone, and the fact that Netflix hasn't picked up Z Nation. Maybe eventually they will, and we'll see something like that, because this show is just so vastly different, and we'll have to see if it even gets a second season after this one. So that's kind of the best I can do right now for a comparison between the two and give my thoughts on both. I'm Walking Dead all the way, obviously. I feel like it takes itself, in terms of the of kind of the feel of the show. It focuses so much more on the characters and on kind of what they're going through in a zombie apocalypse versus kind of that, I don't want to say action-oriented, but just that kind of environmental kind of thriller type of focus. The Walking Dead series, character drama first, And then there's seasons like season 3 or season 8 where it has a lot more action too. But that's after you care about the characters. Once you care about the characters first, and then they bring you through this ride, and they bring you through a whole bunch of different things. Whereas with Black Summer, it just feels like you're kind of thrown into the chaos, and the characters are somewhat wooden or somewhat not that fleshed out, or they're sort of a side to the world itself. And it never felt that way with The Walking Dead or even Fear, where you get to see Madison's life and Travis as a school teacher and guidance counselor, and Alicia and Nick and his problems and all that. It always felt like the characters were at the forefront all the way through, and that doesn't feel, to me, at least so far, like what I've seen in Black Summer, or just the characters aren't connecting that well with me so far throughout the series. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Comparison through for the best zombie apocalypse series on right now, The Walking Dead or Black Summer. You could throw Fear in there too, I guess, and Z Nation, of course, is over at this point. If you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.